So I'm sure by now you've become aware of a 19-year-old girl who became famous after posting pictures of herself on Instagram. About a week ago, she deleted all of her social media accounts and then denounced the very medium that made her famous as fake. Now, the girl made some very good points, but was it the social media accounts themselves or the culture she was embracing that's to blame?
I use it more as a tool of staying connected, and I think a lot of people use it more as a tool of being seen. And I'm like hyper aware of who those people are, you know, so. I think like any tool, it depends on how you use it and how intelligent you are while using it.
No previous generation has had to adjust to as many new technologies as we do now. Now, it's easy to just attach a negative connotation to whatever's new because, I get it, new is scary, but social media isn't all bad.
90% of like social media use is negative, I think. Majority of connections on social media I really don't think are very authentic. But then again, with the advantages that come with social media, I've actually met some people over like Facebook, for example, when I would comment on someone's post and then get in like an argument with someone, and then they would message me and we'd continue like a private, just like talking about something that interests us. And this is a person who like lives across the world or like in a different state than me. That wouldn't have been possible with just like non-technological connections.
I think it makes me feel more connected. I moved every 2 years growing up, like year or 2 years, and Facebook started to get really, really big right before my last move with my family, and so I definitely have felt like more connected to everyone through that. I'm also still super close to a bunch of friends from high school and feel really connected to them through social media. But I do think there are people who are really superficial about it and post stuff to like get likes or favorites or whatever, like post Facebook statuses to get likes.
Although they may not be that meaningful, likes and retweets are a form of communication. This type of low commitment, scaled down interaction is a very useful tool to maintain good rapport with acquaintances, which overall can strengthen group bonds.
I think that we feel more connected on social media, and I think that we are registering connection and interpersonal relationships via the internet, but I don't think we actually are more connected. Well, digital mediums in and of themselves pretty much take away a lot of the cues that make social interaction on an interpersonal scale, like facial expressions and body language and like tone and all that. It's gone. It eliminates a large amount of the conversation, and it allows you to stop and think about your response. It allows you to be calculating, and it basically allows you to form your personality, and I don't think that's an accurate representation of actual connection and communication. That said, I think it's a different kind, and it could be better for different situations. But when it comes to truly understanding who's on the other end of that keyboard, I'm not sure that it's as beneficial as we'd like to think.
Now, I don't think anyone, no matter how social media savvy you may be, would ever prefer a like or a retweet to a meaningful conversation to a friend in real life. Although a lot of the conversation surrounding this topic makes it seem as if this is a relevant fear. Hey old people, it is insane to suggest that social media is the only means of communication that young people care about, or could ever, in a million years, replace face-to-face contact.
Humans aren't moderate creatures, and we don't do things as we should. You know, literally everything in life, if we did it moderately, it would work out perfectly. I think any site that helps you promote your passions is a great site. So whatever you're into, like if it's songwriting or if it's into technology or whatever, if you find a social media site which can connect you and spread your talents or spread the things you've worked on.
When social media is used in a healthy way, used in addition to real-life connection, it can actually increase our sense of group harmony.
I think social media is helping with certain forms of empathy because you're able to see more situations from other people's perspective, like things like Humans of New York and like a lot of Tumblr communities I think are helpful for like people being able to connect with each other, like, oh, this is a thing that I deal with. And again, that like connectedness generates empathy in a way that I don't think has happened in our society quite like this before.
When we scroll through our news feeds, we're taking time to deliberately focus on another person. Instead of thinking about ourselves in that moment, we're looking at pictures and reading tweets that let us in on another person's perspective. What are we to do with all this extrasensory input and information?
I think that we're more distracted than ever before, and I think that our minds are trying to access every different bit of information we possibly can at all times. And as a result, yeah, we're going to be on our phones more. If we have a question, we can Google. But we have some of the most powerful technology ever invented in our pockets. That sort of thing is going to throw a wrench in a lot of social structures. I don't think we actively seek to distract ourselves from the world as much as the world's distracting us, and the phones are the medium in which we understand.
Social media is no longer just a phase. It's here to stay. So it's time that we have a real conversation about its pros and cons and how to use this tool in a healthy way.